Burnout occurs when the actions you take consistently have no impact. It's a slight paraphrase, but it's what applies most to me. This is something I heard in the last couple weeks, I think. No idea where it came from. It was just something I heard in the background, but it stuck with me. Burnout is something that's really taken a hold of me a lot for most of my life. And this, honestly, makes a lot of sense. The actions that you take consistently have no impact. I am currently doing this video at about about functioning on about 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And I really wanted to get this, I wanted to get my fresh thoughts down on paper, as it were, because this is something that I struggle with. And I didn't know that I was struggling with burnout, because to me, burnout is over a much longer period of time, over doing a lot more, and then just until I don't want to anymore. But I don't think that's the case now, because if my video upload schedule is anything to go by, I've been experiencing burnout, and it takes the shape of me just not wanting to do stuff, be it making videos, be it writing, be it any of the other projects that I wanted to, interacting with other people, burning out in a social sense, because I do want to meet other people, but the amount of energy that I've put, that goes into, at least on my side, the amount of energy that goes into interacting with people, and then I don't get the happy chemical from, talking to people, it leads to me not wanting to do it. And this is entirely on me. I'm not blaming anybody else for what I'm talking about. This is me and my problem. But it's interesting to realize why you're having the problem that you're having, because undiagnosed, but I'm also like 99% sure that I have ADHD. And taking that into consideration also is very interesting, because if you look at, and I'm sure there's been studies on this, and I am just kind of shooting from the hip, as it were. I have got nothing to back me up. I am not a trained psychologist. I'm none of that jazz. But if you look at ADHD and you're like, okay, because I was talking to my girlfriend earlier, how is it that we could do small things and feel accomplished by them, but when we do larger things, we don't feel that accomplishment? And taking my 2 points here, ADHD and burnout, together, I think is we feel a level of accomplishment, but we don't feel it in proportion to the effort that we put into it in the first place. Case in point, I've been writing for the last several years, and I have been struggling to finish this one story. I am so stinking close. I'm like 5 chapters away. I'm struggling to finish this story, and it's not that I feel upset by finishing a chapter. I'm happy. I genuinely am happy, but I feel exhausted working through these chapters, writing words down, barely getting hardly anything written down in the first place. And again, this is all just me, but the feeling that I get when finishing a chapter is not one of elation. It is, thank God it's over. And then it takes me weeks, if not months, to write anything else. Like, I've been trying to write another chapter all month, and I've gotten nowhere with it. And I see where the end is in sight. and I want to do it, and I want to do this thing. But every time I think about doing it, I just think of how much effort I've put into it up to this point and how unsatisfied I am. And it's a simple matter of input and output, and it's mental. Mentally, I am putting in this much energy, and whenever I get on the other side of the project, I am not getting the feeling of accomplishment or the feeling of joy or anything else in proportion to the amount of effort that I've put into, because I am making myself do this thing because I want to do it, I need to do it, I want to get it done, and I know that every step is good, but just there's a disconnect there in energy input and output. And one thing I've noticed with some things is the reward needs to be substantial or balanced, I guess. The reward needs to be balanced to the amount of energy I put into something in order for me to feel accomplished by it. Case in point is TikTok. I have had another TikTok account that I did okay with. I think I got like 23,000 followers on that old account, and every single time one of my videos did really well, it was just oftentimes a low effort, low cost, low input video that I didn't have to struggle too hard to do. It wasn't a lot of editing, it wasn't a lot of this, wasn't a lot of that. And granted, the algorithm chose that one to do really well, and it felt really good. I wanted to do more. And granted, that is just kind of leading into the dopamine cycle, keep people on the platform, blah, blah. That's a different conversation to have entirely. But it was still there. It was something small that I did that gave me the happy chemicals, and it's why I stuck with it for so long. And whenever the algorithm changed, whenever the game changed, whenever just people who I was wanting to talk to, they changed, and just the overall experience that I was having on the app lessened, it wouldn't matter how much effort I put into it or how little effort I put into it. It just wasn't hitting the same anymore. So, my expectations and my opinion and effort for it fundamentally stopped. Like, I barely get on the account anymore. So yeah. That all being said, I think that something that would help me is trying to find an outlet, trying to find something else I can do that will make me doing something feel worth it in the end. Because if I write a chapter in my book, if I do a video and I put all this effort into editing this video and I get it done, whatever I do afterwards needs to make up for the enjoyment that I want to feel from completing the project. Because I have absolutely no doubt that this video is going to go nowhere. I'll be lucky to get like 3 views on it, but shy of it doing stupidly well, like shy of it doing YouTube shorts well. I don't think there's anything that could reasonably happen given how small my viewer base is. I don't think there's anything that could happen within reason that would make me feel like what I have done is worth it. I've been talking for about 10 minutes now, and I could just as easily just go back to bed. I'm hungry. Honestly, I might do that. I'm not going to substitute everything for food, But after this, I'm making myself a nice breakfast. And maybe that will make this video worth it. I don't know. I'm still figuring this out. I don't have an answer, by the way. I hope no one's listening to this and hoping that I'm saving the big epic answer at the end, because I'm not. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of vibing here. But I wanted to get my thoughts out. I wanted to get a video out. And if you've made it this far, drop a like, drop a sub. It'd be cool. But more importantly than that, you don't have to like the video. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to follow. But if you suffer burnout, if you feel like what you're doing is not worth it, tell me something that you do that makes you happy. Something that you do that it tickles that part of your brain, gives you the warm fuzzies, the thing that you do for yourself to make yourself feel better. If it's eating a bowl of cereal or reading a book or watching an episode of an anime or a drama that you're into, just, if you've made it this far, let me know what you do that makes you happy. I'd very much like to hear.